What's going on, guys? So today we are actually doing a lot of things.
Do you want the little fluffy thing for that?
Yes.
The microphone?
Yeah.
I got one.
That's good. Look, so we're here with Brenton and we're here with a couple other people. We'll introduce those in a minute. What we're going to be doing today is actually a little bit of a surprise. And it's going to involve this kid. What's your name? Reed. It's going to involve this kid. Easton. It's going to involve a lot of goats, a lot of ducks, a lot of ponds, a lot of work. And no, I'm just kidding. So stay tuned because yeah, there's something interesting coming today. All right, this beautiful now right here is what we are going to be giving to little Reed, Easton, and Sarah. So hopefully they enjoy that. We are now down to 2 rescue bettas. The other ones have been rehomed or have unfortunately passed away. So we are down to 2. We've given 1 to a subscriber. So we've actually rehomed 3 of them. There's 5 and they're getting homes and they're gonna live happily ever after. All right. My cousin actually has a YouTube channel as well. He just started out. He's got a couple of 100 subscribers and he's really gonna be focusing more on like the homesteading aspect of things. You know, they have chickens and things of that nature, and they live out in the country in beautiful Crum, Texas, which is where we're at now. So I'm going to introduce you to the 5M family and kind of what they're doing, but how we're introducing them is actually the same way that we always do. And I'm going to surprise the kids with a betta fish. So they don't know about this yet. And as you saw just a minute ago in the content, you know, I took them by to meet Brenton, which was amazing because Brenton's always such a good guy when it comes to his fans. And my little nephew is a die-hard fan, 100%. So Easton definitely enjoyed that. I'm going to put the name of them right here. If you care to go check them out, definitely go check them out and show them some love. So let's get into this video today. Now what we have here is we actually have a 30-gallon trash bag that has a tank and everything in it, substrate, everything. So we're going to take this in there because they have no idea what's in here or what it was for, but we're going to show them. So, hey! I wouldn't say that it's not the 5M family. Hello everybody, so we're going to meet Tobin.
What's up?
And we're going to meet Shanna.
Hello.
And we're going to meet this little crazy mutt here you heard barking a minute ago. And Flabby Gabby here. Look at her. She wants to just give you a kiss right there. Look at that. And there's little Easton right there, as you saw a minute ago, going absolutely crazy over Finatic. There you go.
Get on my face.
Well, and that'll get cut. And there's a couple more in there somewhere. But anyway, we have this trash bag full of goodies right here that we are going to set up today. Kids don't know what this is, but they're about to find out. Okay, so we're going to show these guys what this is today. But do you remember what we saw in the card?
Yeah.
What's in the cup holder?
Fish.
And what I tell you I do with that fish?
You kept in the car.
Why do I keep it in the car? Because it's my cup holder fish, right?
Yeah.
That's actually a lie. I brought that fish for y'all. So today, I'm gonna set up a fish tank for you, and that fish actually was rescued. We rescued 12 of those fish, 7 of them died, and this is one of the 5 that was left that you guys get to keep and give a forever home to, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
Well, she never lets us have a fish tank.
Well, today
Is the day.
this is the introduction of the 5M family to YouTube, and today we're getting a fish. Fish.
I love those things.
So how about you do this while I sit here and talk to your mom and dad? Why don't you guys go out and get the cup holder fish and bring it in? Okay, so all the boys went and grabbed the cup holder fish that we talked about it, which is right here. And this is one of the rescue bettas that you've seen 100 different times. And this is going to become your forever fish. You're gonna give it a home until it dies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So inside of this box right here, or in this bag, let's open this up. And what we have is we have a little 3.5-gallon fish tank.
Okay, this is heavy.
I know there's a lot of stuff in it. Why don't you bring the box in here and put it on the table and we'll unbox it. Okay, so what we have is we have a top,
Yeah, we need to.
right? And then we have this whole, pull that box out. Look at this. So in here, of course, we don't go anywhere without our Fritz Turbo Start. We don't go anywhere without our Fritz Complete. We have a small Anubius. We have something special in here.
Uh-oh.
We have a filter box. We have some substrate. And we have some fish food. So let's start getting this thing together. We're gonna start with substrate, okay? Do you know what substrate is?
It's the ground.
It's kind of like the ground, yeah. The other thing we're gonna use is this right here.
Is that a rock?
This is a rock, and it's a special kind of rock. and I wrapped it up so it wouldn't, when it was driving, so it wouldn't bounce around and scratch the inside of your tank, so it doesn't look bad. But this is a special kind of rock, and it's called a dragon stone. Dragon stones are really cool looking in fish tanks. See it? So what we're going to do with this is we're going to take this, we're going to wash all this dirt off of it. So let's go to the sink and wash all the dirt off. We're going to set the dragon stone down here so it can just settle a little bit. What we're going to do is we're going to take one little scoop of this substrate, and we're going to put it in the bottom, like this, and just get it kind of where we want the dragon stone to go. So the dragon stone, we want to sit in here, kind of look at it to see what you want to do with it. This look like right here is kind of cool. So we'll take the dragon stone, we'll put it up in here like this, and then we'll just take this right here and we'll dump it in like this. And if you notice,
looks like asphalt.
there are actually some little pieces of volcanic rock in here too, like red lava rock. And what that's for is that actually holds really good beneficial bacteria, because there's something called the nitrogen cycle. Have y'all learned about that in school?
No.
Okay. As you've seen in other videos, I always like to use a paintbrush because it's easier. So we're going to use the paintbrush to really get the rock where we want it to be, and all of the substrate, just like that. Then we'll throw these little pieces of lava rock down here in the front. We'll get this piece of hair out from the paintbrush, and all looks good. Now I don't have my planting tweezers with me, but that's okay. What we have is a small anubias. We're going to plant this thing in here too. Now, I will tell you about these anubias, just so you guys know. These things are rhizome based, and what that means is that they have this little fleshy piece right here that you see how all these leaves come off this big piece right here? Like there's it's like its spine almost. And then off of that you have all of these roots right here can be planted, but this little fleshy piece has to stay above the substrate. So what we're gonna do is we'll take this and we're gonna make a little hole, just like you plant everything else. We'll push it all the way down in there. We'll put the substrate over top of it, and then once it's in, we'll kind of lift it up just to make sure that that rhizome is up out of there. And I know you guys are going to say that you're not supposed to plant them, that they're supposed to be attached, and I am telling you now that as long as the rhizome is outside of the substrate, these things will grow. I have plenty of them growing in many other tanks with no issues. So you can attach them to things, you can bury them, you just have to make sure that the rhizome is up above the substrate, which it is. So we are all good, and that is it. So we've got the scape done. Let me show you guys what it looks like. Pretty simple. You can't really see it too great, but once we get water in there, you'll be able to see it. Now we have to mix some water. So we're gonna take this over, since it's only 3.5 gallons, we can just fill this up in the sink and then move it to where it's going. So we're gonna go do that now. What we're doing is we're filling this up with water straight from the tap, which means that we're gonna have to actually
Dechlorinate it?
We're gonna have to dechlorinate it. So we're gonna start by dechlorinate it as this is going in there. If you wanna go grab that bottle of Fritz Complete right there. And as always, we are going to be using the Fritz Complete. So 1 cap full of Fritz Complete will treat up to 50 gallons, but this Fritz Complete will actually detoxify your ammonia, your nitrates, your nitrites, everything else. Now, we were talking about earlier the nitrogen cycle. So what happens is fish waste and plant waste and poop and old food causes what's called ammonia. Well, then what you have inside of here is a beneficial bacteria. You see this? Mm-hmm. So this is a live nitrifying bacteria. So what happens is this bacteria that's in here will take all that ammonia that's produced by the fish waste, by the food, everything, and it will actually turn the ammonia, which is dangerous to fish, into nitrites, right? So that's what we want to have happen. That's a part of the nitrogen cycle. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna continue filling this up. Get it all the way filled up here.
I'm excited.
Are you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad. So now we have the tank fully set up. We have all the water in here. The rock is in here. Everything looks perfectly good. Now we need to go ahead and get the substrate rebrushed down. Just make sure that we didn't mess it up anywhere, which we totally did, which is fine. So now let's go ahead and get the filter, which this filter actually has 2 filter pads in it. So Reed, do you want to grab those 2 filter pads out of there and then go ahead and pull the plastic off of those? And we're gonna rinse those off. What do you think you're gonna name the fish?
Cup holder fish.
Cup holder fish, okay. So just so you guys know, I had this Betta in a Betta cup in my cup holder in the car, and the kids didn't know what it was for. And I kept telling them it was my cup holder fish, that's where he lived and that he, just stayed in my cup holder. And of course, being children, they were gullible and they believed it. And then we get to the house and they find out it's actually there. So that's where he's giving cup holder fish. So you're gonna do that. Then we're gonna drop this into the tank because that water you're washing it with is not dechlorinated. So we wanna make sure that the water in that gets dechlorinated. And really why you're doing this is because there are little carbon pieces in here. That's the black that you see in there.
That's what I felt.
And that's what filters out all the junk from the water. And you wanna wash off all that excess carbon before you put them in. Well, because you washed it in chlorinated water, we're going to dip them into the tank to let them dechlorinate. Because when we put this in there, which is a live nitrifying bacteria, the chlorine will actually kill this. And we don't want that to happen. So you got to make sure everything is dechlorinated before you put that in. Right? So now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get this pump hooked up, which this pump is going to go right back here, or filter rather. So normally when you go to a store and you buy a fish and it comes in water, you never want to put that water in your fish tank. Right. So the water could be diseased. Now this water actually came from a tank at my house that this one Betta was in, so we know that it's clean, but the water's a little dirty because the water was dirty. So what we'll do is we're actually going to drain out. Now granted, this water's going to have a ton of beneficial bacteria in it already that's colonized and ready to go because this guy's been living in it for a while. But we're going to go ahead and pour a good bit of this out. We're going to go ahead and acclimate him. And what you have to do to acclimate him is you're going to have to, so what I want you to do is I want you to put your finger in that. Feel that? Mm-hmm. Now put your finger in this water.
That one's hotter.
Exactly. So we're going to have to acclimate him, and the way we acclimate him is since we're going to put that water in there, so we're going to take this and we're literally going to just dip it in here and let a little bit of the water flow in. We're going to let him sit for just a couple of minutes. Alright, so this guy has been acclimated, and as you saw, we cup acclimated him, and the water that was originally in here was from his original tank, so we can put that in this tank here, and here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
And there he is in his new home. And we have acclimated the little rescue fish, and one more fish has found a forever home with Reed.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got the tank set up. Now we're going to go pick up an otocinkless catfish. Actually, scratch that, we're not. They didn't have one, so we're going to get a clown pleco. We're going to get a neurite snail, and we're going to get some ghost shrimp, which will keep this tank healthy and clean. Sorry about the sun behind me, but yes. We're gonna head over to Fish and Chirp. All right, we are back and we are about to put some more fish in this tank. What we've picked up is a neurite snail, a ghost shrimp, and a clown pleco. All of these, which are, this clown pleco will not get any bigger than this. The ghost shrimp, of course, are not very big, and then one snail, and that's really just to keep the tank clean. So we're gonna let those guys acclimate actually in the sink here in water that's the same temperature as what's in the tank, because we can't get all three of these bags in that tank at one time, so we're gonna let these sit here. Okay, so we're gonna start with a clown pleco. Pleco.
Oh, I know that.
And he's gonna swim out, and he's good.
Where did he go?
There is the clown pleco.
He's already eaten.
Straight munching on the side of the tank. He's good. Just hanging out. So he'll be good there. What we have to make sure of is that he is flipped over, otherwise he may not be able to get over. And then you will see him slowly start to move around and do other things. And then finally, we have ghost shrimp.
Betta, or whatever it's called. It's gonna be called a, is that 4?
And everything is good in here. There's your Betta, your shrimp, your snail, a little clown pleco, and now there should be no problems. What do you think?
I think it's pretty cool.
Do you? Well, good. All right, guys. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this video today. It was absolutely fun, and the kids seem to enjoy their new fish. Now, what we want to say is we want to say thanks to little Easton here for having us over to his house to give him a new fish. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Are you going to help name it?
Maybe name a cup. It was in the cup holder the whole
There you
time.
go. That's a perfect name for it. And we're going to thank Reed and little Max, too. Max is trying to... Hey, Max, look. And Reed, do you like your fish?
Yes.
Yeah? Are you going to help name them, too?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I've already named them all.
What did you name them?
Snaily. And then shrimpos. The Betta is called the cup holder fish.
Cup holder fish. Exactly.
No.
So we want to say thank you to the 5M family, which the name is going to be right here. And you can come check out this little kid.
Caleb Easton.
And this little kid. And this big kid. And his big kid wife. And all of their animals. Which there's going to be all kinds of things going on around here. So if you feel like it, go over, show them some love, hit the subscribe button, and follow them along in this journey. It's a very difficult thing, and it's hard to do, and they're willing to take the chance. So go give him a follow. Now, little Max Robert has something to say before we go.
If you haven't followed us on Instagram and subscribed to our channel, do that now.
Just like Max said, if you haven't followed us on Instagram, you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do that now. We appreciate the support, we appreciate the views, the subscriptions, we appreciate everything, and we're truly grateful. So, until next time, we will see you then.